Terry Wheeler joins us now. Terry, who do you like this afternoon?
Well, it's a very tough one, isn't it, Dennis? West Coast Eagles, quite a number of the players ill over the last fortnight with the flu. And as to whether they're up and ready to go, today's a big question in St Kilda. You are right, they are ready to go.
The proof of the pudding, as they say. Let's take our first bite. First bounce. Everett and Grigic favours Everett. Gets the first touch away to Burke. Hurriedly onto the boot. Swings it out very wide. Drifting back, young Wooden. Clever mark. Running with a flight of the ball. Play is on. Kicks down towards half forward. Telling kick too. Fraser Gehrig's got it. Wheels around. About 70 metres out. Kicks it down towards the pocket. Fuster almost. Gathers the ball on the ground. Snaps. Wayward kick. Grigic was on in the square as well. And he's put this one out of bounds on the full. Eagles bench. There's the experienced one. David Hart. Not too experienced getting into that tracksuit. As the kick goes out towards the outer side. Gehrig from behind. Fell in front. Brown. Quick hands. Nicely done. Hudson boots it around the outer side. In front low. Close to the boundary. Tried to keep it alive. Couldn't. So a boundary throw in.
Stuart Lowe, one of the key players in the St Kilda forward line. St Kilda coming into this game with the third best scoring forward line. Christian Bardsley, the nearest player on the bench there for St Kilda. Boundary throw in, half forward line for St Kilda. Moves around towards the wing position, rolling towards the line, doesn't go over. Gehrig in there very first there with Wakeland. Now eventually over the line and out of bounds. So the conditions, heavy rain here earlier this morning, and now the forecast is just the occasional showers. It's still quite warm and close. Boundary throw-in. Game's tight on the opening side. Out comes Harvey now. Steps out into some space. In towards centre half forward. Hall's the target. Dropping in short though is Lappin. Very good in front. His last 4 weeks have been very productive for St Kilda. Picking up goals. Goes on Everett's a target. He's got free. Can't complete the mark. Jakovic the opponent on the ground. Away it goes towards the line and over again. Big Glenn Jakovic playing his 6th game on return from the knee injury. John Worsfold wrote in the Western Australian papers this week that it takes about 6 weeks to start to get back into the fray. So he's predicting that Jakovic is ready to turn one on. Everett does the heavy body work over the back. Brown from outside the 50 into the true centre half forward position. But dropping back the 50 gamer Paul Simmons.
To Jakovic. Boots it around the outer side. Well played by Wakeland. Right there, step for step with Gehrig. Fisting away, so a boundary throw in. Sierakowski out of the team. Darryl Wakeland coming in. They'll be tossed in. Midway between half-back and wing for the Eagles. Jakovic clear of the pack. Harvey bumped off the ball. Morrison appears to have the job, although Banfield is there as well. Smith. Well played by Harvey on the ground. Awkward one for Schofield. Schofield a second chance. Strong tackle by Lappin. Got him down. About 35 metres out from goal. Matthew Lappin. Schofield. One of those dual sportsmen. Very good with cricket as a youngster as well. Played at Surrey for a time. Ball hacked around the corner by Morrison. Everett about 60 metres out. It hasn't started all that well, Big Pete. Dropped a mark he should have held a few moments ago, and then a wayward kick out of bounds on the full. They need him up and firing this afternoon. He's very important for them.
Everett comes in averaging 6 marks a game, so he sits only behind Stuart Lowe in his side's marking tally. Paul Simmons, mentioned earlier, playing his 50th game of league football here this afternoon. Drives long towards the wing position. Spoil from Hudson was good. Everett at ground level. Can't get down. Harvey's the master at that level. He couldn't do it either. Austin Jones can't. Peckett from behind the flow of the play. Trying to get through. Can't beat the pace of Matera. Played on now. Morrison from half forward in towards the forward pocket. But Jamie Shanahan has a jump all over Fuster. Takes the mark. To Harvey to the near side. Holds play up now just in the back pocket. Waiting to set something as the runner from behind goes in short. It's Cripps. Wider still now to Peckett. St Kilda looking to set something from half-back. Peckett with the bounce. Runs too close to Lowe, so has to go over the top towards Hall. Hall, good stretch over Turnbull. Great mark. Straight off to Jones on the left. A one-on-one duel Right there, very good work. No, he's been pinged as McIntosh. Heatley had the front position in the contest.
Interesting contest, wasn't it, in these body-to-body duels? You could see that Heatley certainly lost his balance. Well, the umpire was adjudicated he lost his balance because of illegal interference from McIntosh, and the umpire, I think, was in a perfect spot. He was only 10 metres away, so he's confidently paid the free kick.
So Jason Heatley, the former Eagle, Stephens now should kick this. I think he has. So Heatley gets the first goal for the Saints, and one on his former home ground. It was a good start for him.
And I think you always look at the first few minutes of play, just the kind of almost the body language. And I think St Kilda have got into this game fairly well. They've got the first goal on the board. That's always important. But just they've probably had their hands on the ball, just been added a little bit harder than Eagles in this first few minutes of the game.
Back in the centre, some indecision amongst the Eagles too inside the centre square. Harvey slipped away. Morrison didn't go with him. It would have left them one short, so they've got to sort that out. Meantime, the ball runs out towards the outer side wing. In front, Zilla left it behind. Thompson had it. Hand passes towards the boundary. Out she goes.
What's happening there, Dennis, is that Zilla is basically playing on a wing against Simon Simmons, but he's actually coming into the centre square, and Harvey is starting from outside. That's just where the matchups are just not quite right in there.
A whistle and a free kick. Grgic before the throw-in. Gugilia having a fine season. Down towards half forward. Donnelly in front. Hudgton fisting away. Simmons trying to keep it in. Couldn't. So a throw-in. St Kilda a goal. West Coast yet to score as we go down to Adrian.
Then it's just an update on the conditions. It's still down here, a bit muggy. The surface is fantastic, really incredible. I've putted on worse surfaces than this, I can tell you. And Jason Cripps, Glenn Coglan tactics on Brett Heady at the moment.
Won't get a gimme from me. Kick comes from Harvey. Banfield. Here's Jakovic. Forward of half back. Morrison up towards the middle. Harvey. Now a defender gets across and does pretty well. It spills wide. Wooden shakes a tackle. Lovell 60 metres out. Gehrig almost on the 50. Heady is on for the short one. Heady can't get there in time. Shanahan did brilliantly. Surrounded by Eagles and pumped it out of bounds. Defence the best policy right there. The man in the middle, but the bounce did favour him.
Thought maybe Brett Heady tried to assess the situation then rather than just taking the bit between the teeth and going at it.
So right in the forward pocket alongside the behind post. Big Grgic takes the ball from the ruck. Can't get away from it. Matthew Young does the cleaning up for St Kilda. Dribbles it along and out over the line. Half back for St Kilda side.
And as we see with these ruck contests, Everett likes to ruck and then push into the forward line. Grgic is trying to get in there first to try and grab the initiative, which is pretty normal these days in the way the ruckmen oppose each other.
So the two big men come together. Neither effective there. Everett gets a second go. Kemp lays it on out in front of himself. St Kilda defence standing up very strongly just at the moment. Quick exchange of handball. Releases Jones onto the wing position. His wobbly kick finds his mate Joel Smith. Smith steps inside Turnbull, can't get away, feeds inside to Hall. He back around onto his right foot over the top to space. It's Heatley and it's McIntosh again. Heatley behind this time off the ground. Look at this! Oh! If you don't mind. Heatley just turning McIntosh back the wrong way, being able to come back onto the ball.
Well, sometimes players do freakish things and they get rewarded for them and they should be criticised for them. In this situation here, a wild kick off the ground in this situation is absolutely low percentage, even though it's went through for a goal. I don't know why he didn't just pick it up and kick it in a normal action, but it's certainly a freakish goal that didn't need to be freakish.
Jason Heatley booted 4 goals last week against Geelong, including 3 in the opening term, 5 the previous week against Richmond. Brown muttering around the ground, we should never have let him go. Former Eagle, 3 games, 8 goals for the West Coasters. Grgic knocks it down. Heady worked off it. Cripps with strength. Heady plenty of company. And a bounce. Almost on the line of the square, down towards centre half forward for the West Coast Eagles, who trail by 12 points. The early going here at Subi. Everett and Grigich. Body to body. Bounce favours Everett, knocks it down, stolen by Kemp though, kicks inside the 50. Gehrig looking for a free kick, it runs on. Fuster deep in the pocket, keeps it in front, but it goes across the line. Good pressure again, that time from Shanahan.
Good signs off the ball at some of these ball ups. Every St Kilda defender was basically leaning on his Eagles opponent, not only standing next to him, but actually leaning on him. They're really going to take the game up to the Eagles today.
Boundary throw in. Fuster, big leap from behind. Harvey beats one tackle, has the poise then, across to Everett. Everett releases Young. Young's at half back, in space, kicking up towards the wing. Hall, fisted away by Turnbull. Good defence, back across the line.
Ryan Turnbull with the job on Barry Hall. Christian Bardsley, the St Kilda interchange. So the boundary throw in just forward of the wing for the West Coast Eagles. Grigich with a thump down to Kemp. On the left, Eddie in the front position on Cripps this time. Steps out. There's a full forward, full back duel at the moment. Now there's plenty of other players down there. Decides to go longer on towards Gehrig. Does the judging. Very good work by Wakeland in front. Down to Burke. Then turn back towards Cripps. Heady can't get it. The two big fellas come in. Lovell, Andy Lovell from outside the 50 drives in towards the square. No one can complete it and over the line and out. Used to it at full forward against Jamie Shanahan. Shanahan climbing up the list of players to have played over 100 games and yet to kick a goal in league football. Playing his 111th game today. Does the ruck work. Everett over the back. Drops it down in front of the contest. No one can get away from there. Umpire straight in.
As you mentioned the midfield before, it looks like Zilla's in fact playing as an extra midfielder for St Kilda, which means Simmons is a spare winger for the Eagles. Both interesting setups on that situation.
So just some crudeness in the final pieces here. Heady being in the front position. Down he goes, and Zilla just in over the top there, and the umpire very quickly there awarding the free kick.
I like to see those. I don't think the player at the bottom of the pack gets enough protection these days. I think the umpires too often allow the pack to fall all over the top of the guy first on the ball.
Heady just single goals on 2 occasions for the year so far. That's 3 times he's kicked one. So Brett Heady's first, and the Eagles are on the board.
Yes, I think particularly annoying from St Kilda's point of view. When you give away, you've got the other side off the bin a little bit, and giving away a free kick, which is just a little bit of overzealousness. Sometimes you can be just too aggressive, and on that occasion, Zilla went too hard at the player when he was caught behind, when he had to stand off a fraction and try and just not give away the free kick.
Not overzealous, is it?
St Kilda by 6 points. There's the time remaining till quarter time. Grigich, bit of judgment in flight that time. Free kick though going the Saints' way. Young wants to run with it. It'll come back to Burke. Averaging 26 possessions a game this season with a top of 35 against Richmond in round 9. Little chip still inside the centre square. Taken by Young, the man who initially was breaking away with the ball. Up ahead, Stewie Lowe. So McIntosh now on him. Lowe. Looking for Hall, wide of the mark, in front Harvey, pursued by Morrison. Still a battle, this is Matera. Sweeping hand pass out wide, Philip Matera. Got it to Gehrig. Little looping handball, Morrison. Kemp in trouble, Young over the top, fisting towards the boundary. Still a battle out there. Zilla somehow got it on the boot, close to the line. Lappin couldn't reef it in.
I think Adrian Barrage mentioned at the start of the game the coach's tactical battle. Peter Matera has now been switched up onto the wing and Simmons gone back in defence. I think if the Eagles are going to have a spare player, I think they're happy to have it as Peter Matera.
So St Kilda with the handballs, really spinning the ball around in defence, looking to set something up and consequently leading in that statistical analysis there. A look there at the interchange bench for the Saints. Just keeping up with all the coaches' moves. I'm sure that the opening parts of games, there are many, just trying to get the matchups right. As off screen now, both runners are out on the ground, trying to ensure that the coach's instructions and placements are picked up. There's Stan Ells, Gary Colling just to his immediate left. This is the busy time, getting it right. Approaching the end of the first quarter. Lovell, his handball misses Morrison. Gives the opportunity to Smith. Can't spin out of the trouble. Lapping on the ground. Fed off then by Wooden. Banfield, the little fumble, has time to settle at halfback. His kick really doesn't take advantage of the time that he has. Met there by Kemp. Wheels around on the right foot. Goes with the longer option. It's Donnelly. Can't complete the mark under the pressure of Hudson. Fraser Garrick spins around, tries on his left, can't get there. Schofield, he now round onto the left, long into the full forward line. It's all the Saints, it's Cripps this time. Covering Heady and covering Fewster.
And ball coming in. Cripps, short one. Young again. Out against the boundary. Saints leading by 6 points. Under 10 minutes till quarter time. Young, a high one. Heatley being covered now by Djakovic, a long way up the ground, crawls after that ball. Wooden knocks it towards the boundary. And a throw in. Young Josh Wooden, Canberra. Michael Malthouse talking with George Young, former Saints champion. Matera down towards half forward, off hands, Heady. Cripps hard on Heady again, and the ball spills towards the boundary and across. Cripps and Heady doing a little pushing and shoving there.
I think Stuart Lowe is the player that St Kilda want to get into this game at the moment. Actually, he started centre half forward opposed to Glenn Djakovic, but is now pushed up into the true full forward position.
Kemp, another possession around the corner. Almost a clever mark to Wakeland. Controlled it pretty well on the ground. Knocked across by Cripps.
I wonder if that's one of those situations where St Kilda would have been hoping that Djakovic would have followed Lowe into full forward, but in fact Djakovic has stayed up the field. Heatley at the moment, you might find there'll be a bit of switching going on to try and draw Djakovic back.
Everett knocks it down. Donnelly from about 40 metres. Great effort. It's a goal.
Yes, well, they certainly needed that goal, didn't they, the Eagles? But they've got back on level pegging now. The first 5 minutes of the game, St Kilda had the ascendancy, but the Eagles have regrouped, kicked the last 2 goals. Good goal in by Donnelly, just one of those flurries from the ball-up situation. Got him clear and he was able to keep the ball on line.
So with just on 9 minutes remaining, West Coast with the last 2 goals have squared the ball game up. A bounce, a poor bounce, but there's an interference on the square. No, there's a free kick. It's a free kick against Fraser Garrick at centre half forward to Darryl Wakeland, and it will be awarded where the actual ball is. And so at the centre bounce, Big Peter Everett will take the free kick. The left foot in towards half forward, low on the lead, has it. That's just what he wanted.
He does, yes. He's got to drop the ball short against Djakovic's opponent, because Djakovic often concedes the front spot. Depends on his ability to get there to spoil.
Lowe's pass, though, isn't up to the standard that what he received. St Kilda have the opportunity with Joel Smith on the left foot from 45 metres out. A great kick.
Well, didn't he make that look easy? The left footer, almost 50 metres out, Joel Smith. One step onto the left side, but just timed it to perfection, really. And as soon as it left his boot, it was going to make good contact. Again, got it into the central part of the ground. It was a question of who could maintain possession. Hallgren, have a look at this. Just one step, bang, left side, split the centre. That is a fantastic finish.
Lee, they often ask, what are you looking for in young players? It's just that balance, isn't it?
Yep.
St Kilda up by 6 points. Rain starting to fall now. Bounce again, sliding away to the umpire's right. Everett knocked it down. Burke was slung. Banfield to Morrison through the centre square, down towards the attacking 50. Coming up to gather the ball. Fewster released it perfectly, sending Heady away. He storms into an open goal. 5 metres out, kicks the third for the Eagles. The timing of the hand pass was everything there.
It was, wasn't it? And Brett Heady, he's had hamstring problems for a number of years, and I'm not quite sure whether he's going to run flat out, but this time, again, it just held up the hand pass enough. Very good. Set him clear, and then he did take off. I think this is Heady at full pace. Nothing like an open goal to encourage a player to really put the pedal down.
The other important thing was Fuster there, just a little give, and then put his body just across, just enough to take the St Kilda defence out. So Heady with his second goal. Centre bounce. Bounces off Burke towards Lovell. His kick is high towards centre half forward. Darryl Wakeland and Fraser Gehrig do the wrestling. Ground level, Wakeland has a second go at it. Young's handball back inside the danger zone. Isn't where he perhaps should have gone, allowing Phil Matera to have an opportunity. His handball to Donnelly. His in turn isn't good enough. The umpire comes in to pay a free kick. Umpire Greg Scroop. It's a St Kilda kick, eventually with Peckett. He in turn across the ground towards Shanahan. Floats it over the top to Harvey. Harvey doing all his work across the full-back and half-back line. Smith can't complete the body work there. Heady very, very aggressive at the ball. To Banfield. He in turn scrubs one in. Shanahan in the front position. Runs the ball down. Uses Young. He in turn out to Burke. Settles. Very, very good kick onto Everett, who got away from Gridgick. Everett on the centre wing. Wheels around. Harvey will have to go hard for this one. Does with a couple of bites. Completes the mark. No doubt about that one. Now he's allowed to play onto the running Peckett. He goes long in towards half forward, settling themselves there. Can't quite get it there. Great spoil there from McKenna. Zillis, the first one in there. Lappin now for St Kilda, working around the 50-metre mark. McKenna in control across half-back. Steps out of the trouble. His kick doesn't fall Gehrig's way. Wakeland does the bodywork very well. But now the eventual kick is over the line and out of bounds on the full.
Peter Matera has been in splendid form this season. From half-back, off his step towards the wing, Donnelly. Andrew Donnelly kicked the second goal for the Eagles. Another short one. Lovell this time, heavily strapped on that right knee. Andy Lovell for distance, up towards half forward. Everett, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Peckett slickly away. This is Burke. Now Harvey getting plenty of it. Not the best hand pass in the world. Lappin. Now he's clear. Down towards half forward. Will it get to Thompson? Not quite. Peter Matera dropped the mark in front though. Working hard Zilla. Back comes Thompson. There's an opportunity. Matera got him though. Well done. Hall with the spillage up towards full forward. Bacon square, but it's wide of the mark. It runs towards the boundary. Wooden kept it in. Now he's in trouble. Heatley, a good tackler, got him. McIntosh runs it across. That was a feature of Heatley last week, his tackling against Geelong.
So important to hold the tackle, isn't it? If the tackle is broken and the Eagles player gets clear of Heatley, well, the next contest is 2 Eagles versus 1 St Kilda. The holding the tackle so important in winning a game.
Glenn Coughlin waiting to come on. Tough customer. Jakovic knocks it down. Jones towards the boundary. Wooden's there and across it goes.
Hudson, the player there to come off. Putting the water on top of his head, Stan Olves. Coaching in game number 77 for the Saints. Looking on as we approach the quarter-time break. Low, very well done over the back. No St Kilda player there to take advantage. Schofield for the Eagles defence just allows it to go over the line and out of bounds. And Adrian, things down on the boundary line.
Yes, Terry, heavy drops of rain here. It's almost tropical. And Lee, your tactical knowledge spot on. Jacko's gone back to state at centre-half back with Lowe. You must have coached before, mate.
Well, those two players did the ruck work. It's still in here tight. Half forward for St Kilda. Joel Smith looking to step out on the left foot. Just tosses it into the forward line. The ball bouncing there just as the mark was being claimed there by Jason Heatley. And the umpire recognising that and now deciding to ball the ball up. The ball will be bounced some 25 metres out from the St Kilda goal. You can see the time remaining there, less than 5 minutes. Jakovic, Lowe just drops it down with the left. Off the ground by Thompson. Hall goes back but can't quite get there and crosses the line for just the one behind. So that gives St Kilda the lead by that score. St Kilda 3-1, West Coast a 3-goal stroke.
Ashley McIntosh to bring it in. Just over 4.5 minutes to quarter time. Good crowd now too. They've come in late, obviously wary of the weather, but it's filled in nicely. McIntosh taking all of his allotted time and then goes for distance straight up the middle. Low, Djakovic over the top, juggled, mark is paid. And Djakovic, crowd favourite, centre half back, told to play on. Puts away from Low. Attempted tackle there by Low. That was interesting as the kick comes down towards half forward. Knocked away by Wakeland. Zilla, who started well. Simmons got him that time. Zilla got it back. Clever hand pass on his knees. Harvey, his 9th possession, gives it across to Young. Probing kick inside the 50. Plenty of Eagles around the ball. McIntosh was holding on according to the umpire. A free kick to Heatley, and the distance not beyond him, but he goes in short to Jones, who dropped the mark. I doubt it was 10 in any case. It comes back to Heatley. 48 metres out. He likes it. He's got his 3rd. What a start.
Well, yes, the crowd certainly didn't like that free kick. You're doing well if you can get 2 of those body-to-body free kicks here, but he tried to set Jones up, and of course Jones couldn't hold the wet ball, but again it was almost a carbon copy of the Smith goal. One step onto the right foot this time, and again split the centre, so we've certainly seen some very effective finishing.
Jason Heatley with his 3rd goal. Really giving the Saints something in the forward line. It's their ability to run from half back to giving them the best opportunities to date. Here they come again. Lappin flicks the ball back on towards Zilla. The support wasn't there that he wanted. Now Burke charges through the contest. Probing kick inside 30 metres. Hall in the front position. Everett from behind. Turnbull was the spoiler in the middle. Big Everett gets the foot to it, but doesn't do anything with it and goes over the line and out. He was never balanced to get a kick back into play there, and perhaps a handball would have been the better. Michael Malthouse coming down to the boundary line. Kick towards Grigig. Ball spills in between the 2 Eagles. Schofield steps around onto the left foot. Tosses it out into space for Djakovic to run onto. Heatley's there with him. Djakovic is caught, ducks the head. It's allowed to play on. Chad Morrison now. Jones doing the tackling. St Kilda very fierce. They're stopping it right here. Comes back towards Heatley. He had no energy to go. And Djakovic kicks it off the ground and goes over the line and out. The sumo wrestlers were in town in Melbourne last week. Some impersonation there from Jason Heatley and Glenn Djakovic. They prepare now for the contest. It misses them. Hall's in the front spot. Turnbull's spoil falls to Heatley on the left foot. Towards half forward, Guy McKenna pushing and shoving, keeping his body between the opponent and the ball. Eventually wins out very well. Banfield taken away by Lappin. The short kick to no one in particular. Lowe does the body work, sets up now for Harvey. He'll go right in, waltz in, kicks the goal. The crowd upset. No free kick there to Guy McKenna, doing the right thing by putting the body in first. And unrewarded, and Harvey picks up the goal.
And again, Heatley set it up. He really crumbed the ball from the punch back that came forward. Then Lappin here was a question of who could extra good body use, as you mentioned, Terry, by Lowe to just clear the path for Harvey. And there was 3 St Kilda players in the goal square. Everett, we know, is going to be in the forward 50 as much as possible. And if he gets a few balls, then Grigig is really going to have to come with him much quicker.
Margin 13 points then. 10 possessions for Robert Harvey. Here's Brown out of the middle. Chad Morrison needs to put a cowbell, I think, on Harvey at the moment, trying to keep up with him and know where he is. Cross half back, sliding in there with Simmons. Well played by Zilla. Got it across to Smith. Opportunity now for Lappin. Lappin likes it off the boot. They've got another one. The Saints on fire.
Yes, and centre bounce clearances, aren't they so important? And St Kilda have just been on top in there. Everett set it up. And then it's just they're good contesting in the forward line. They're just getting the numbers there. Look, it's just more St Kilda jumpers on the screen running forward. And Lappin was able to get away from, I think, McKenna's his direct opponent at the moment, possibly. But again, when they've had opportunities at the moment, St Kilda, they're scoring goals.
St Kilda forward line rating number 3 in the competition, and they so much rely upon the ability of the Saints to win the ball across half back in the centre, and in this first quarter that's what they've done. They've been first at it across those two lines. Here they go again. They've forced the ball towards half forward through Jones. Banfield turns it back, but only as far as Burke. Steps through the traffic, gets away, has time to take a bounce. Kicks in towards centre forward. Lappin's the target, can't quite get to him. The Eagles defence in the front position, but at ground level, Jones very good on the left. Everett's made it.
And this is exactly what Everett is trying to do to Gridge. He's getting into that forward 50 and he's been alone a few times, but this is the first time the ball has actually got to him. And again, as I said, when a ruckman gets forward and marks the ball, has a shot at goal, it makes his opposition ruckman. He's won the initiative battle, and the opposition ruckman is very, very wary of his positioning.
And this man is a goal-kicking ruckman. He's kicked 20 so far this season in the 10 games, played in every game. Going for his first today. It's a goal to the Saints.
Well, it's an exceptional start by St Kilda. A 7-goal first quarter is exactly what you want to just quieten the home crowd. And they just look so much quicker at the moment, St Kilda, around that midfield area. They are a pretty quick side overall. I just think they're getting numbers to the contest because they just got the yard on the majority of the individual contests amongst that midfield group. And at this point of the game, they're having a really good patch.
Just a great start by the Saints. Their best opening term this year, 44 points against Essendon, round 8 at the MCG. They've got 43, and a minute 5 to improve on that. Here's Burke, 10 possessions for him, 11 coming up for Harvey. Kicks inside the 50. They're the men doing the damage, and of course Heatley up forward. This is Joel Smith. Liked his game as well. He's through. Joel Smith misses a golden opportunity. Oh, that would have hurt. He was through, had all the time in the world, the talented youngster, but tugged it left.
And Dennis, the Eagles have reacted. Jakovic has now gone to centre half forward and Gehrig is now back in defence.
Stan Alves yet to taste success against the Eagles, but this is looking very good, very tasty. Short one comes in, and this is the youngster, Braun, making his debut this afternoon. He's away. All the time in the world, and there's the difference in the competition he's been playing and the step he's taken. Great pressure applied by Lowe. Now an opportunity for Thompson. Gave it up though, McKenna. McKenna up towards the wing. Heady pushes off his man, but the boundary line not a friend. It runs across. So 19 seconds to quarter time. Michael Braun. Getting that ball on debut across half-back. He'll remember his first possession. In fairness to him, not a lot up the ground to kick to. We saw Michael Malthouse barking the instructions. Harvey looking for a dozen. Held a long time. No free kick. And Morrison just stubs it across the boundary line.
And it's interesting, in this first quarter, Lowe and Heatley have alternated between full forward and centre half forward probably every 5 minutes. So I thought it might have been to try and drag Jakovic back, but maybe it's just to keep the fresher player up across half forward where they have to work so much harder.
Well, it's working. Everett knocks it down at the base of the pack. Brown dives on top, and there won't be time for any more scoring. It's quarter time, and the Saints have got a flyer at Subiaco Oval, equaling their best start of the season. Schwartz has stayed on the bench in that game as we go down to Adrian Barrage.
Yes, Dennis, a good day for Ducks and Saints, as you would have it. Mick Malthouse very pumped up, sent Jakovic over to the umpires, very unhappy with some umpiring decisions. Problems on the half-forward line and in the centre, as you said. From the Saints' point of view, very buoyant, very happy at the moment. Jason Heatley proving a point against his old club at the moment.
It will pay to be buoyant today. The rain is pelting down as the kick comes from Everett down towards half-forward. Low on the lead, strong hands. Stewie Lowe about 60 metres out. Hall comes on a lead. He ignores that. He lobs it long down towards the pocket. Heatley almost runs into Hall. Tries to snap goalward. It spills across towards Thompson. He kicks it the wrong way. Out towards the boundary, and Wooden close to the line. Wooden soccers it across. So a throw in.
The way the rain has pelted down the last 5 minutes, a 4-goal lead looks pretty good.
Yes. If it were cricket, you'd probably think about declaring. I mean, that's a huge lead at the moment. Jakovic straight down to Zilla. Spills wide of the pack. Zilla is second effort. Banfield took a wild, great shepherd there from Peter Matera. The kick, I think, lobbed in. It did.
I think we don't get a lot of really wet conditions in footy. The grounds are so good these days, so players have to react and adjust to a slippery ball and not try and play the ball on in the normal sort of run-on fashion and just try and get length and distance with their kicks and be a bit more basic.
Behind it's Brown, who tried to do that, dragged off it. Jones, no hesitation in soccering forward. Jakovic in the road, though, comes away from half-back, sends it down towards half-forward. Wakeland almost the half volley. Cripps, nicely done, slapped away by Donnelly. Out wide by Cripps. We've got a whistle and a free kick to the Eagles. Off the ball, Heady will take it. Heady, couple of goals on the forward line this afternoon. Kicks inside the 50, pouring rain. Young comes up, and a free kick is going to McIntosh, who was held as that ball was in flight. The umpires having no hesitation in paying frees.
I'm sure the Eagles fans thought that was poetic justice. Again, it was probably like the other two that were played earlier. They didn't look major free kicks, but certainly the umpire thought they were, and that's the only decision that matters.
Well, Lee, you and I at the MCG yesterday thought the umpiring was pretty good there. And they're paying free kicks again this afternoon. Feels like you've met a long-lost friend. Here's McIntosh. Normally pretty reliable, but the ball is slippery already in the early going of the second term, and that's the danger. Just slides across the boot ever so slightly. Number high. Sort of day where nothing can be taken for granted from now on.
The ability to control the ball becomes ever so important here now. Just closing the game up a little bit more. The handball's just shorten another metre. Concentrating on the kicks, imperative. And Matthew Young very good on that occasion towards Jones. Jones not as good though on towards Burke and Harvey, but those two combined. Harvey on the left foot. Disposal number 13 for him. The ball spoilt and over the line and out of bounds.
It's interesting, he's just such a hard runner, Robert Harvey. You're going to test the run, speed and fitness of any opponent, and at the moment he's just, Morrison isn't quite with him close enough and isn't getting enough of the ball offensively to really be a problem.
So low from the front position. Zilla, Harvey bounces back off Harvey towards Zilla, then back towards Harvey. He off the ground with the front position from Simmons, didn't complete the mark. The umpire calls play on. Garrick in there, now Simmons back in amongst it, and the players pile on up just inside the 50-metre zone for St Kilda. St Kilda leading 19-44. Three umpires in charge really will have their work cut out now. The contest is surely going to tighten up. Mist all around the ground. Heavy rain falling. Matera steps out of the mist to do some magic. On the left foot, goes out wide to a one-on-one contest. Cripps, Heady does the spoiling and then favours himself with it. Lappin wrapped him up in the tackle. Very good work. Cripps couldn't get it away. Slippery conditions. Lappin a little slow. Matera the tackler. It's just staying in there just at the moment. Work towards the boundary line. Off the foot, over the line, out of bounds.
Yes, it really has to be now think kick all the time. It's only really the must-do handballs that when you get the ball, it's really just kick it forward because it's wet and slippery. They can't handle it now.
Philosophy of get the ball free, not the body free, applies here now. Harvey does that. Ball over the line, out of bounds on the full. The free kick to Banfield. Comes back in board. A little adventurous in the conditions, perhaps. Again off the ground by Banfield, and the umpire working overtime on the other side. Another one on the full, another free kick, this time to St Kilda. Matthew Young, named in the Allies squad during the week, takes the kick to Morrison. It is literally pelting down here at the Subiaco Oval at the moment, towards the wing position. A fly. Cripps back on out to Harvey. Ian turn just to the 50, a low from behind. The spoils there, Matera has a fresh air swipe at it with the foot. Andrew Thompson, the first one in for the Saints. He's joined by Zilla. Zilla trying to barge his way through. Same does Simmons for the West Coast Eagles, but umpire Greg Scroop comes in to bounce once again.
Simmons pleading his case. He was taken high. So a bounce about 40 metres out from the Eagles' attacking goal. Or will the umpire throw it up? I think he'll try a bounce at this stage. It's pelting down. Torrential rain. Could have a first at Subiaco. They could turn the lights on for a day game here. It's very bleak. Lappin to Harvey. Well, he's killing them. Harvey across the ground, about 40 metres out. McKenna thumps it towards the boundary line. Wooden, Jones. Jones did well. Wooden got the bump on him, but Jones got to the ball and slapped it across the line.
Can it rain so heavy they call the game off, Dennis? You can't really quite show it on the television just how heavy it is.
Well, if we took a vote around Subi at the moment, I think people would say yes. Here's Matera coming away from half-back. Peter Matera storming up the ground. Storm, the operative word. Looping hand pass away. This is Simmons alongside the centre circle. He boots it down towards half-forward. Dropped by McIntosh. They battle after it. Wakeland picks it up, throws it on the boot. Nothing fancy. Waiting there, Peter Matera hasn't got the ball. Play goes on. Well, that's interesting. Picked up by Harvey. Harvey's hand pass goes to the man who's entrusted with marking him today, Morrison. Got it to Kemp. Back it comes to Morrison. Let's pick a name at the moment. Donnelly has it close to the boundary line. Donnelly. The distance. Headies in front, bounces off the chest. Shanahan knocks it towards the boundary line and it will be thrown in. Adrian, how are you bearing up down there?
Not too good, mate. This is incredible. It's like being in Bali. It's honestly like a tropical storm, just like you said. The lights have actually had to be put on because it's become so dark. And the messages from the benches have been flat hands and the soccer. Soccer and flat hands are the order of the day.
Never seen rain like this. Well, I have, but not in Perth at the footy. Absolutely teeming down. And about an hour ago, it seemed to be clearing up a little bit. Young throws it on the boot. Nothing at the moment will dampen the enthusiasm of the Saints. They're really about their work. I remember the state game going back to the early 60s. WA played Tasmania on this ground. It certainly wasn't in good nick like it is now. It was a quagmire. Tasmania won. A guy called Withers, can't remember the Christian name, I should but I can't, dominated that game. Brown comes out of defence and kicks back towards midfield, off the deck by Jones. A little surface water starting to sit around the centre circle. Wooden does nicely, comes away, miscues completely and comes out towards the boundary and across. And that breeze is freshening a bit too and the Saints are running on it.
I think possibly, Dennis, they should only play football in the winter in the good states like Melbourne. It's too wet and miserable over here.
But it's a warm rain we have here. It's a warm day. I mean, yesterday was freezing in Melbourne, wasn't it?
So Johnny Worsfold comes on. Bang, straight in comes Johnny. These are the conditions that are made for he. The ball driven in towards half forward. Guy McKenna coming across half back, does the body work to allow Fraser Girick. Spins the ball away on the left. Simmons has some space, touches it once towards Peter Matera. Very good kick. Just need to settle and control the ball. McKenna providing run on the overlap. Heady the shepherd for him on the left foot. Needed to be perfect, wasn't quite there. Worsfold, little kick on the stats board. Kemp now across the body in towards Broome. Very good mark from the debutant. Excellent work. First possession was well called by Dennis running across half-back where he was snaffled under pressure. Now he's settling down in the game. Kicks in towards the forward line, but the defence is St.Kilda. Glenn Coglan on this occasion takes the mark. Slowly and surely now with Harvey. A little too short that kick. They should have bought more ground with a longer disposal. Harvey again, still can't penetrate the Eagles outriders across the 50-metre line. Matera to Grigic. Just working across the front of the key. Using a basketball-type setup at the moment. The ball would be heavy. Lovell, a terrible kick. Absolute shocker. Burke gathers it, does what everyone else should have done. Kicks it long. And there's Lappin taking the mark. He has a one-on-one contest in the forward line. He should just go long towards Bardsley and McKenna. He can't do it. The ball's just too heavy and too slippery for him. McKenna slung in the tackle. Matera, I beg your pardon, will receive the free kick.
This is where players haven't really adjusted to the conditions. You've just got to kick the ball at the open goal. You can't manufacture goals. You've really just got to make them happen by kicking the ball at the goal and hoping you can run onto one.
Jakovic around the wing towards Kemp. Grigic takes his eyes off the ball and goes for Jones. But Jones smart. Quick handball out. Braun intercepts it. In towards half forward. Eagles in the front position through Donnelly. Grigic now has an opportunity. Does the right thing. Puts pressure on the St.Kilda defence by kicking long. Matera has the opportunity. Phil Matera can't get onto it now. Coming back hard amongst it. Now he has an opportunity. Back towards his brother. Misses him by 6 foot. Peter goes down. Tony Brown's down. The ball still spinning free towards the St Kilda forward line. Ball with an opportunity. Can't clear the area. It stays in there. Locks in there. Harvey the opportunity. Umpire allows it to go on. Very good umpiring at this stage. Towards half forward. Wakelin attacks it with ferocity. Burt. Braun. Worsfold. Thump. Down they go. Still working it. Pressure's on the umpire. What's he going to do? Is he going to allow this to continue? Jamie Shanahan assists him out by kicking the ball wide along the line towards the boundary line. Down they go again. Harvey, Burt, thumps it up, buys 10 metres through his side and over the line and out of bounds. And good luck to you, Dennis.
You've got to love it.
Even the board's wet. Look at that.
All magnetic board. Now there's a job. Thrown in. The other side wing, Everett decisively. Brown didn't have the ball. Smith handling it down towards half forward. Heatley to Thompson. Thompson from right half forward. The light's starting to kick in now. Off hands, chance for Jakovic. Jakovic taken across the line. Throw it into the call. Just over 10 minutes to half time, and the West Coast Eagles in deep trouble now. 7-2 to 3-1, so just the one behind added in this term. Off the ball, down goes Heatley, and the umpire is going across to play a free kick.
Yes, Gridgick and Heatley got involved there at centre-half back. I only got us caught out of the side of my eye like I think the umpire did, but Heatley went to ground, and whenever that happens, here we see it. Oh, pretty minor contest. I think a free kick well drawn by Jason Heatley.
Well, he's got 3 already. He's directly in front, but as we've said, nothing is gilt-edged now.
Nothing to lose by going to the ground from powder puff contact in those situations. You never know.
Heatley kicks. Has it got the carry? Not quite. Touched right on the line. Grigic getting back to effect what he considers a little justice. Giving a word to Heatley. And now Geary. The draggled players you can see there up ahead. Geary kicks out very wide. Jakovic is the target, low from behind. Banfield crashes into Harvey. What great balance by Harvey. Stood up, got the hand pass towards Barnsley, who couldn't control it. It goes across the line. Robert Harvey, 19 possessions, so on pace for 40. He can keep going today. No easy task, of course.
Lowe does the ruck work with the right hand down towards Thompson. Couldn't complete it. He comes back in to do the tackling. The West Coast Eagles haven't lost at Subiaco since round 4 last year. In between 12 wins. The conditions now and the pace at which St Kilda opened the game are really putting the pressure on the Eagles. Some heavy work there from Banfield. Heatley comes through for the Saints. They're working themselves an opportunity. Thompson off the ground. It's rolling. It's there. Teamwork. Everyone in. Just persistence at working the ball forward, and an opportunity came.
You said it, Terry. It's all about forward football, isn't it, in this condition? You just got to keep the ball. Every metre that you run forward, the opposition have to turn it round. It's just so hard to control the ball. St Kilda just kept it running it forward. And eventually Thompson is okay. You don't manufacture goal in this circumstances. You just take the slight opportunity and make the most of them. So, yeah, very good effort by him for St Kilda.
Margin, 32 points. And I think there's conditions now matching the disposition of most of those supporters. The West Coast Eagles in desperate trouble. Thompson soccers down towards half forward. Spills out towards the wing now. Burke cleverly got it across. Harvey feeds it back inside to Smith. The Eagles doing all the chasing. Smith down towards the pocket. Heatley couldn't control the half volley. Brown gets away, slips it in short. Joel Smith. Umpire didn't pay it. Well, Joel gave him every chance to. Brown comes again. Quick hands to Harvey. Harvey is just chopping them up out there across the 50. Big Pete, hand passes. Getting in there though is Wooden. Wooden between two. Saints did pretty well. Barnsley dives on top of it. Turnbull ties him up. And a bounce.
Christian Bardsley right in there amongst it. Actually playing his 50th game for the St Kilda side this weekend. After starting his career at North Melbourne. So by Greg's group just asking the two big men, Grigic and Everett, to sort themselves out. Everett, great hands down towards Harvey. The pressure there from Matera was excellent, and just enough now to go on over the line and out of bounds. It's one of the fine qualities of Peter Matera. You've seen his tackling, his chasing, but here in heavy conditions keeps working at it.
But not his offence today. Hasn't had a kick yet. 3 handballs. I think Thompson down there is playing something of a defensive forward role to keep Matera from rebounding it.
The boundary throw in, and it evades the big men. But now they'll get a second go at it as Fraser Gehrig sees the ball over the line and out of bounds. And Adrian, are you still with us, mate, or are you going home yet?
Terry, I haven't drowned yet, but just an update on the conditions. The rain's abating a bit, but as Dennis said, the breeze has picked up towards the St Kilda goal, so not that bad for the Eagles, though 5 goals behind is like probably 8. And a bit of an update on the positions. McIntosh is centre-half forward, and John Worsfold the full forward, and he's on Jamie Shanahan, if you don't mind. What a matchup.
So St Kilda still working the ball in their forward line. The Eagles' defence under pressure. The handballs, St Kilda stretching out with the handball tally. That combined with their leg speed really make them a dangerous combination. They're staying right in this contest here now. The way they're working inside this 50 just at the moment, they are going to give themselves a chance to steal their 9th goal. The emergency umpire out speaking to players at the other end of the ground. So there's a little bit for the crowd to cheer about. Now Fraser Gehrig gives them something as he dashes out of defence towards the wing position. Wakeland playing along in front of himself with the Kilda side, but eventually over the line and out.
Crowd getting excited when Coughlin is giving Andrew Donnelly a hard time. There's the umpire. Of course, we saw Glenn do this against James Hurd a couple of weeks back at the MCG. Obviously reckons he struck upon a winner. Down in front, Harvey. The ability of Harvey to lose Morrison in set plays, static situations like that, is just quite remarkable. Towards the boundary, Barnsley knocks it in front. Here's Jones out of mid-air, gains about 25 metres out of bounds. So it bounces and boundary throw-ins. You watch Harvey and Morrison, they start side by side, and somewhere in that skirmish, Morrison finishes up about 10-15 metres away. Now Worsfold collides with Coughlin as Donnelly goes for a trek up the ground. Meantime, Lovell smothered off the boot, gained about 5 metres, off the ground by Brown, just wide behind.
You really have the sense that St Kilda have got all the answers just at the moment. Each time the West Coast Eagles have broken from defence, St Kilda have been able to bring it back inside their offensive 50 and remain very, very committed. Their forwards are acting like defenders, being very aggressive at the ball. So McKenna comes in short to Banfield. As he always does, steps away onto his left foot towards the wing position. Headies in the front spot, held there by Cripps. That not seen by the umpire, and the mark taken by Stuart Lowe. Drives it back into centre-half forward. Lovell couldn't complete the mark. Heatley coming through from behind. Harvey once again, the quick little give. Too quick, too cute, according to the umpire. And I think that's extremely harsh in these conditions. Simmons takes the recipient free kick out to Kemp. Scrubs along the ground. Front position there to Philip Matera, playing Peckett. Peckett just sitting there with him. Assistance there from Donnelly. Coughlin staying right there with him. And actual fact gives a free kick away there on that occasion. Coughlin just going one step too far once the ball was out of play. Donnelly, excellent kick into Worsfold. Comes around from 55 metres. John Worsfold puts pressure on the St Kilda defence right into the square, but Everett does what he should have done, runs right across the line just for the one behind.
Big Peter Everett, now Young, with precision. Coughlin, not a crowd favourite at the moment. against the boundary. Kicks it up towards the wing. McIntosh in from the side, the flyer. Banfield down behind, surrounded. Did nicely. McIntosh eventually picks it up, dragged off it, sliding in there. Kemp hurriedly onto the boot. Inside the 50. Ilya Grigic from about 35 snaps, vacant goal square, bounces across. Goes through for a behind. 3-3 to 8-4. 10 goals in the opening term, just 1 in the second quarter. In a while for the Eagles, but they have not been plentiful. Peckett comes away, kicks wide towards the outer side. Wakelin on his chest. Young running around that other side wing, down towards half-foot, intended for low. Knocked away by Jakovic. It was timely. The ball stays in initially. And now just trickles across. Philip Matera coming off the ground.
Schofield, the player, coming on. It really hasn't been a game for Philip Matera. Struggled to get into the contest at all. Boundary throw in. Favouring St.Kilda from the centre. And again the ball just over the line and out of bounds. Michael Braun playing his first game. And the rain just coming down. 31 points is the scoreboard difference, and I think it's 31 points in the rain gauge as well. Thompson working at the bottom of the contest. Brown, a little give on out. Lovell just stumbles forward with a kick. Fortune favours Kemp in the front position. He on the left foot. Really, that's not the direction to go at all. It was never the other way to go home there.
It just proves, I think, these conditions that players are creatures of habit. You do what you're trained to do, and when you get these conditions, you're not used to them, and you're trying to set teammates up. And instead of sometimes at the leading play, you've got to kick it over his head, let the ball bounce and run that 20-30 metres skidding along the ground.
So looking for some directness in the play. Josh Newton wheels around. He's brought the ball right across to this near side now. Worsfold wheeling around on the left foot. Kicks into the space directly towards goal. That's the way to do it. Giving the opportunity for Heady in the front position. Pressure by Cripps. Called up play on by the umpire. Cripps again, this time over the line and a deliberate free kick. And there's the square up. That is it. No doubt whatsoever. That should have been a free kick here to Brett Heavy. Missed by the umpire. This is a big call.
Yes, I don't think there was much doubt he did it. That he was going for the boundary line. It's just a question of whether the umpire penalises.
So Brett Heady with the 2 first quarter goals. You practice this kick every night at training on the way up the race. He must have kicked this 200 times here. Why doesn't he just now kick it again? There's leads everywhere.
This is a fantastic shot. We'll be able to just follow the flight of the ball.
And he remains on 200. But that was the best option, I think, to take from that situation.
Wet, slippery ball. It's very hard to do those check side kicks with a dry ball, but when it's wet and slippery, very hard to get the right angle on it.
So Matthew Young, the little kick to himself, runs it on out towards halfback Matera. What fine form this man is in. Most dominant the last 2 weeks across halfbacks for the Eagles. Short to Worsfold. Worsfold has given the half-forward line a little bit of life for the Eagles since coming on earlier in this quarter. Grits the teeth, drives the ball in long, 15 metres out. Grigic is there with Everett, down to ground level. Braun is wrapped up in the tackle. Brown handballs forward and eventually over the line and out once again.
And I think St Kilda would be looking for maybe a better matchup on John Worsfold. A bit more too mobile for Shanahan at the moment. Coughlin's got Donnelly under control, but just possibly they maybe should swap Coughlin onto Worsfold and Shanahan back.
Saints by 30 points. Against the flow, Banfield to Donnelly. Well done by Matera. Along the boundary line, then left it behind. Did the hard work. Coughlin gained about 10 metres. Back it comes to Coughlin. Tackled by Kemp and Braun. Across the line.
Peter Matera still looking for the ball.
Almost half-time. Boundary throw in. Turnbull and Everett. Comes down in front. Braun tried with both feet to get it. Here's Young. Back towards the wing on the outer side. Simmons controls it reasonably well, then lost it. Lappin got a boot to it. Banfield went down. Simmons comes again, dragged down by Lappin. In goes Hall like a pinball machine in there. He's bouncing off one into another. Jakovic kicks off the ground. It rolls out towards the boundary and across.
It's just about yardage, isn't it, Dennis? And St Kilda have made 50 metres just by forcing the ball forward.
Wakeland now on Worsfold. As Lee predicted, a change. Lowe hooks it down behind, off the deck by Matera, up towards half forward. Heady, certainly the best forward, didn't have the ball. No free kick. And the Saints a chance to bring it away. Young boots it out towards the wing. And the umpire is calling it back. It is a free. It's going to Heady. So they played on, but, well, they didn't play on. The players just kept going, but the umpire emphatic. Heady's free. This is Braun, the youngster, about 60 metres out. Low kick, ill-directed. Coghlan.
So Coghlan, having come off the interchange bench, has worked very diligently to strengthen up this St Kilda defence, because the Eagles have come back in the second half of this quarter. The pressure now on the St Kilda defence by the Eagles. Josh Wooden around the corner and skips it through for just the one behind. One of three teenagers in the Eagles lineup, Josh Wooden. Played for the ACT Rams under-18s last year in the grand final side. And really has stepped up very, very well from that competition. The short kick in from Young. The good one to Shanahan. Two allies combining on that occasion. In turn to Harvey. Predictably, the handball to the running Peckett. Hall doing the body work there against McIntosh. Wins out by keeping his feet. Jakovic now the support. Hall continues to work at it. The handball forward's good. Lappin with the opportunity. Again, just flicking the ball forward, just keeping it moving their way. Has been a very good characteristic of St Kilda's play in this heavy rain.
And Ryan Turnbull is actually up into the ruck and bridging up into pretty much the full forward position, which is Shanahan is now picking him up. And I think the defensive matchups are a little bit better for St Kilda with that kind of Eagles forward line.
So just outside 50 for St Kilda. The boundary throw in a high tackle there on Schofield. Umpire allows it to go on again. Brown working it for the Saints. Kick off the ground. Gehrig couldn't complete it. Heatley with a handball out. Bardsley barges through onto Smith. He couldn't find space on this occasion. Off the ground again by Heatley, but not as effective as his first quarter effort, and the siren sounds.
Well, yeah, certainly a very good
ability to play a brilliant half of football and a terrible half of football in the same game. This could be a turning point. They've never won in Perth. They've lost their last 5 against the Eagles. Start of the third term. Turnbull on the ball. Everett, the bounce has been going to the right of the umpire. It does again, and it floats out towards the wing as well. Harvey, first touch, not what the Eagles want in this term, but he didn't do much with it. Off the deck by Turnbull, and it runs across the line. So that's interesting policy. Turnbull a much more mobile ruckman than Grgic. Grgic down on the forward line, and Turnbull, when the ball's on the ground, can give the Eagles a bit more. But Everett, after a sluggish start, has been pretty good. He knocks it down wide of the pack. There's Young towards the boundary, and that will do. Good result for the Saints, just pushing it across. Can I say a sluggish start? His first kick, his first hand pass, his first attempt at a mark today, Peter Everett. Not that flash, but he's a terrific young player. Now this time he loses Turnbull. Turnbull doesn't do much with it though. Socket off the ground by Braun, down towards full forward, close to the boundary line. Wakeland takes it across. Contact there.
And I suppose that half-time question, Paul Simmons, in fact, is actually going to be Robert Harvey's direct opponent at the start of this second half.
There is the 50-game player for the West Coast Eagles, Paul Simmons. Here is Chad Morrison. Gets the one the Eagles needed to get them going in the second half. So the dangerous boundary thrown in the forward pocket. And Morrison makes the most of the opportunity.
Yes, poor defence by St Kilda not to really block that forward space there. Coughlin actually, I think, ended up on Morrison. You've got to play the defensive side of your direct opponent at those contests, because they're really only going to get a goal if they can run onto the ball in that space. That happened for Morrison, and that was a great morale booster for the Eagles.
So the first goal of the second half breaks a 5-goal streak by St Kilda. The last 4 goals of the first quarter and the only goal of the second quarter to the Saints. West Coast get that very important one to start the second half. They look a far better unit just at the moment. St Kilda now with the opportunity. Hall, very good give. The Christian Barsley pushes back the square. McKenna first one back in defence, and off his hands through for the single behind. Guy McKenna, 2 Brownlow medal votes in the game against this side last year.
And Coughlin off for Zilla, yes. They had 1 tall defender too many, St Kilda, so that's a good interchange to get a better balance back in their defence.
So McKenna now looking to set up something from the kickoff, as he always does. The umpire asking him to move it along. His short kick to Fraser Gehrig. Gehrig played his 50th game last week in Melbourne against North Melbourne. And there was a banner here in Perth to acknowledge that occasion here this afternoon. Jakovic tosses it up towards the wing. Heady in the front position, has the ball spoiled. Thompson, number 29, his handball taken by Kemp. Tosses it out into space. 2 Eagles running onto it. Matera first one there. Some heavy shepherding allows Matera away now. On 50, goes long. But very, very wide. Matera so aggressive off half-back.
Good play all round, wasn't Shanahan came and met the ball, but he was outnumbered 3-1 actually, and Worsfold put him out of action with a good shepherd, but missed the shot at goal, Matera. So
Wakeland from the back pocket to Shanahan. 3 or 4 goes at it. Play-on's a call from the umpire. Matera again. Assistance this time from Worsfold. Tries to keep the ball in, but no, he doesn't.
You can sense this is just the Eagles' challenge, Terry, isn't it? I mean, they come out after half-time with the deficit. They got the first goal on the board. Really, I think if St Kilda can hold the Eagles off for the next 10 minutes or so, then probably they'll go on and win the game. But this is really the Eagles' surge coming.
So 4 goals is the difference. 24 points between the two sides. The rain has cleared. Heavy rain during the second quarter. Bridgick on the bench already. Started this second half at full forward with Turnbull on the ball, but it's being benched now. Turnbull continues the ruck work against Everett. Matera again. 3rd possession in this second half already. In towards full forward. Fuster's there. Heady's there. He's already kicked 2. He's got 3 now. So Brett Heady, having played defence, wing at different stages throughout the season, now back to half forward and looking as dangerous as ever.
Just an opportunist goal, and Matera's got a couple of key possessions. Whenever Peter Matera's touching the ball a bit, then you know the Eagles going to be in the game. And here it was really just a question. The ball almost fell into Heady's hands at the front of the pack, but he's kicked the goal, and all of a sudden the margin is much reduced.
So the Eagles making their move back to 18 points. Turnbull going as far as Jones though. Ozzie Jones boots inside the attacking 50 for his side. Heatley under the ball. David Hart runs back, gathers up to Jakovic. Controlled it pretty well. Jakovic comes away with dash down towards half forward. Braun had to stretch. Burke controlled it. Tackled immediately, holding the ball. Oh. Well, I suppose he may have pulled it back in. He said he couldn't get off.
Is that what he was saying?
Here's Braun. Short one. Mark is held by Kemp. It's about 70 metres away. Dylan Kemp sends it deep then. Heady's the target. Why not? Knocked away by Cripps twice. Gets it across the line.
It's an interesting one there. Cripps, the ball in the air, he punched it directly towards the boundary line. That wasn't deliberate. Yet when he did it off the ground from even further away in the second quarter, it was. Turnbull does the ruck work. Down it goes. Joel Smith makes a space out of nothing there onto the left foot, but hasn't a target in St Kilda wing position. Simmons is the first one for the Eagles. Back towards Kemp. Too high for he. He comes back once again. Braun, Everett trying to gather at ground level. Another fumble. Burt now. Low. Just a chain of handballs, setting it up through Thompson now. Kicks towards Lappin. Bustled by the stronger McKenna. Hart missed what should have taken there. This allows Barsley with a chance, and McKenna has to come back then and wrap it up with a tackle. So strong is Guy McKenna in the one-on-one contests. Matthew Lappin really was just bustled out of it quite unceremoniously. The bounce, right on the wing position, out of side. Subiaco over. Birkin underneath. Nathan Burke, best and fairest winner last year, and also in 1993 for the Saints. To Jones, he's kicking towards Hall, can't complete the mark. The roving's done by Harvey, can't bring it back far enough, and just the one behind.
Robert Harvey, what's that? 28 possessions now. Stan Alves. Things have deteriorated a little bit since half-time. They've got to hold the line here. Very important now, the second half, in the context certainly of this game, but also in the season. There's no margin on this premiership ladder. Fraser Geary goes very wide to a contest. Burke over the top. Turnbull is doing better on the ball for the West Coast Eagles, and that's a very good hand pass to Braun, to Lovell. Runs away from half-back. Towards half-forward goes the kick. It pitches behind the first two. In front was Morrison, who runs back to get it off Heady. Kicks inside the 50. Made it awkward for Worsfold. John goes down, gets it across to Kemp. His hand pass straight up in the air. Shanahan heads for the boundary line. Good defence. Knocks it across. Boundary throw in.
Isn't that the difference between knocking it along the line out of bounds rather than hitting it straight out of bounds? So the angles, I think, are very important as to how the umpires look at those situations.
All cosmetic.
Matera over the top, the big thump. Morrison tries to keep it alive, in actual fact does. Kick along the boundary line off the ground. Has taken the ball to within some 10 metres now of the behind post. So this is the situation, is this far side that Morrison got the first goal of this quarter from a similar boundary throwing. Another opportunity, this time it's Kemp. Bounces right across the face of the goal and over to the other side.
They're looking very dangerous at those boundary throw-ins, aren't they, at this situation? The Eagles players are getting on the end of that ball that's coming off the hands of the taller players.
So here it is, a set play here, Turnbull and Everett. The boundary throwing not strong enough from the umpire at all. Well, that's a tough one. The boundary umpire just didn't throw the ball in far enough whatsoever. And Turnbull's efforts to get in there, he's deemed to be shepherding.
No, the other way round. I think it's been paid that Everett was in fact holding Turnbull's left arm.
Gee, that was pretty
that's
soft.
the umpires adjudicated on it, but yeah, I think that's a pretty poor decision from the way it looked with the benefit of the replay.
So statistically, they've done very well from these boundary throws in terms of goals. Turnbull with the assistance of the umpire now, going for his first goal for the year. It's right there. He's got it. Ryan Turnbull, every game this year, has kicked his first goal.
I think that extra mobility, and here we see this contest here. It's the players pushing against each other as Ruckman will do. The ball is going. Oh, I don't know. I would have thought you've got to say the Eagles were very fortunate to get that.
That was a shocker. Absolute shock.
Turnbull making his mark. This is a good move by Michael Malthouse. Oh, Turnbull taken high. Let's get the free. Wants to play on now. Kicks down towards half forward. Fuster, meters in the clear. Fuster plays on. Not sure about the value of that. Gets it across to Braun. Braun kicks in short. And Philip Matera has marked about 25 metres out. quite a sharp angle. Now, Fuster, normally a thumping kick, could have gone close from where they were first.
That's been amazing. It's only really stopped raining for about 15 minutes, and then now it's like a dry ball game again. It's completely normal conditions. That was a difficult mark with anything that a dry ball from Matera, but it's stuck in his hands. So it's a good chain of possession from that original free kick at the centre bounce.
Philip Matera, first kick of the afternoon, going at his 21st goal of the season. Is their leading goal kicker. He's got it.
Well, the game has certainly changed dramatically very quickly. From the time they got the first goal of the third quarter, the Eagles have spent most of the game in their forward half, and they've found a way through all of a sudden. 4 goals so far in this quarter, and all of a sudden with the momentum of the home crowd starting to get behind them, they're going to be a very hard team to hold down.
Philip Matera, the goal-scoring forward pocket, picks up his first. The Eagles, with all 4 goals of this quarter, come again through Turnbull. He's been the man to do it. Matera, little fumble there, couldn't take it what should have been a clean one. Big Everett and little Philip Matera working at it there. Great work. Umpire comes in. He's picked the free kick out of this somehow.
I think that was Johnny Worsfold coming in a little late and making sure he was 5th bloke on the pack.
So the umpire has sorted it all out. Peter Everett takes the free kick. Cross to half-back, Peckett. He's clear. Matera, great chase there from Philip Matera. The kick towards half-forward, Jones. In towards Heatley, very good work. That's an excellent mark. Just his ability there, just be able to turn it back the way he wanted it. Kicks now from 50. Too laconic on the kick. Really wasn't where the side wanted it at all.
I think he saw that the goal square was open, so he tried to kick it quickly, but just didn't quite get himself completely balanced.
So Stan Elves there. Pressure now coming back onto his coaching box. McKenna kicks to himself, runs on, and the Matera score goes over the line and out of bounds. Matera, 152nd game, and one of 9 Eagles out there with over 100 games worth of experience. And that's what's coming to the fore just at the moment, the experience of the Eagles. Stuart Lowe, he's had a very quiet day. Well held last week by Turnbull, by Stoneman, I apologise. And Turnbull this time has the opportunity from half-back. Kicks to half-forward, Heady in the front. Good roving there. McKenna sets Kemp free. The lead's on, the ball falls short of Fuster. He gathers it. Zilla, first back for the Saints. Can't get free, has a second go. Flicks it out into space. Stepping around Morrison, he's already kicked one here now. Too far across the body and rolls through for another behind.
That was very good thinking. That free kick that Turnbull got from the boundary throw, and Everett had dropped into the forward line, but the Eagles kept their ruckman Turnbull for the ruck contest against Lowe, and Jakovic swapped opponents. That's very good defensive play.
7 points the margin. Peckett to himself. Great comeback by the West Coast Eagles. Well judged by Lowe. Turnbull getting under that one. But Turnbull in his way has been the catalyst. Here's Burke up towards the wing. Good mark by Banfield. Body to body with Healy. Too strong. Banfield is sharing it around now. Jakovic in short. Turnbull again. Storming past is Lovell. Lovell towards Huffield. Gave it away. Jones read it brilliantly. Sliding across in front of the man it was intended for. Hart. Hearing a timely fist. Down in front McKenna. Away to Wooden. And the crowd getting into this game now. Wooden down towards half forward. Loose ball behind. Matera can run onto it. This is Peter. In pursuit is Thompson. Matera can't control it though. Gets away from him and across the line. We spoke of the split personality of the Saints, able to get the best and the worst into one game of football. Well, now they're being challenged. Healy is off. Coughlin is back on. Not a fan favourite. Matera doing the ruck work. Appear to be taken high. Down goes Robert Harvey. Coming through is Simmons. Gets it away to Kemp. Kemp's on the line. Plenty of support around him. Goes in short for Lovell. Lovell has taken this mark 25 metres out. What a slight angle. Well, it was like slow motion out there.
It's just changed, hasn't it? Dean Kemp, good use with the ball. He knew that it was going to be a very acute shot from out the boundary line there. Looked for the options dropping forward, and it's the Eagles players now who are running hard to get to a usable space.
Andy Lovell going at his first goal. Pops it through. There's a point in the difference. Amazing.
Yes, I suppose the big difference wasn't it, at half-time? St Kilda were 5 goals in front, and that was a big lead in those conditions. But it's not a big lead once the ground has dried out and the side as such the Eagles has been able to just get a little bit of the ball, and all of a sudden they've put St Kilda completely on the back foot.
So the Eagles' chant goes up as their side gets back to within 1 point of St Kilda. St Kilda led by some 5 goals at one stage, and now they've been eaten back. And it's been the hard, tough stuff of the Eagles that have got them back into the contest. St Kilda working to rebound off half-back. Jones's kick is high towards the wing, hauls the target. Jakovic spoils long, spoils hard towards the boundary line. The experienced players have really stepped up a notch in this third quarter. Kemp, Peter Matera, Jakovic across half-back, and John Worsfold, who started the game on the bench, certainly have had an impact. Turnbull, very good in the ruck again, has a second go, flicks the ball out to Kemp, then turn to Simmons. Simmons steps back into the fray, too easily around Young. Perfect kick into the Morrison. St Kilda really being tested here now. Just one out of their first 5, now being tested. Hard in defence. They clear once again. Turnbull's the first man back to it. What a quarter he's had. His handball was smothered there by Thompson. Cogman trying to break through. Can't get anyway. Banfield now has an opportunity. Great smother there by Thompson, is it? Very good work right on the line. St Kilda now just looking for some time to regroup.
And John Worsfold, from the time he came on in the second quarter, it's not so much the possessions he gets, it's just the presence, I think, has made the Eagles a bit more comfortable and St Kilda a bit more nervous in that part of the ground.
Saints having trouble getting the ball, as we can see. Diving on top of it, Young. Harvey, too slippery. In goes Hart with him. They tie it up. Now, the West Coast Eagles haven't come from behind at halftime to win a game this season. They're 0 for 3. Their most recent time was round 12 last season against, guess who? St Kilda. Just over 8 minutes to go. Point the difference. Wide of the pack. Simmons. Braun was there. Lovell to Heady around the corner. A chance to take the lead here. Matera. That won't do it. Bounds on the full. Peter Matera. 8 minutes till three-quarter time. What a transformation. The Saints cruising in that second term. In the rain. Bardsley out of defence. In front Everett. Turnbull intent on destruction. Big fist. Out of bounds. Relishing the chance to run on the ball now. And his mobility a key in this revival. Sun shining just for the moment. Think about the light bill. There's Kemp. He's 60 metres out then, Kemp. Nothing on. Short. Philip Matera out position down there by Bardsley. Coming across behind them, Smith. Well played. Puts it across the line. So a boundary throw in.
Philip Matera, a goal scorer in this quarter. The Eagles have had 5 individual goal scorers for their 5 goals in this quarter. So the workload well spread. There's an opportunity for Peter. He overruns the ball. It's right on the goal line there for West Coast Eagles. Harvey steps around from just on top of the 10-metre square, and his left foot kick out towards the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw-in 45 metres around from the West Coast goal. And Rod Harvey, who went in at halftime with 25 disposals, really has been silenced somewhat with just 3 more in this third quarter. Throwing Everett pushes it back down to the front, but only as far as Simmons. He has time to kick around onto his right foot, kicks to the top of the square. Contest here, Morrison, roving, can't complete it. Here he has a second opportunity. 2 goals in the third quarter to Morrison. Is it? We're still waiting on the all clear from the umpire. Now he gives it. The goal umpire will signal the second goal to Morrison. Eagles in front.
Well, he had a bad first half, Morrison, comparatively to Harvey, but since he's gone into the forward line in this third quarter, kicked a couple of valuable goals and has really been very lively down there. And at the moment, those ground level balls in this forward line situation are going all Eagles' way. They're able to find the ball goal side of the pack, and the goal scoring is starting to open up.
West Coast Eagles lead by 5 points. Play restarts. First time the Eagles have been in front. Everett up, pumps it down towards half forward. Lovell onto the fumble, floats it out towards the wing. This will be interesting. Up was Jones, knocked away up there by Braun, sliding in Simmons. And look at the numbers, that tells the story. Plenty of Eagles where that ball is. Umpire's group wants it. Just consulate bench. Zilla off the ground. He started so well, Matthew Zilla, or rather Stephen Zilla. So ball up on the outer side. Turnbull and Everett, body to body. Everett decisively. Down to Matthew Young. Held to him. And another ball up. 9-6 to 8-7. So in this term, the West Coast Eagles have booted 6 goals, 6-1. And the Saints have added 3 behinds. Everett again, body to body. Turnbull beats him. Helped on its way by Braun. Burke defiantly throws it on the boot. Very high kick. Oh, magnificent attempt at the mark out there by Simmons. Nothing doing. They'll have a ball up. Simmons almost. No concentration and courage involved there. A lot of players around the ball. What a change in the weather too. Torrential rain for the best part of 25 minutes to greet that second term, and now it's stopped. We've had sunshine. We've got Wooden breaking away. Wooden inside the 50. Wayward kick though, out of bounds on the full.
Josh Wooden, 13 disposals this afternoon. Really one of the young up-and-coming players in AFL ranks. But St.Kilda under pressure here now across the half-back line. Toss it to the near side. Peckett, the one bounce. Handball over the top to Young. Has Coghlan free. Finds him with a handball eventually. He settles now. The lead's on. Harvey's in short. Robert Harvey, so much in the first half. Now looking to come back on. The blood rule now. The umpire is holding play up here. The blood rule. And it's Johnny Worsfold going off.
It's not working for St Kilda this quarter, is it? They've flowed the ball quickly forward. They've got a set shot from 60 metres out, and the play's held up while the blood rule's enforced. Then all of a sudden the Eagles can get all their players back into their defensive positions.
You just wonder if there is actually blood on John there.
May see the day when they carry a blood capsule.
Yes. Harvey tries to take Simmons on, does. Buys another 20 metres from hard on the boundary. That's a sensational kick. Oh, Robert Harvey, excellent work. 2 goals to Harvey. When we both thought, Lee, that the momentum had gone off him.
Well, there was no doubt it had gone, but have a look at this one. It's really backing yourself. There were some Kilda players dropping clear, but that ability of Robert Harvey to change direction quickly, to really swing the tackler off his hips virtually, and Simmons just couldn't quite grasp him, accelerated clear and kicked a good goal from a very acute angle.
Oh, that was inspirational. They should rub that number 35 off his back and put a sign there that says, "Follow me." What a great example by Robert Harvey. Will the rest of the team respond after their sluggish performance in this term? Dean Kemp's got other ideas. Off the deck inside the 50. Here's a chance for Morrison. 2 goals in the quarter to Braun. Back to Kemp. Hurriedly, was he taken high? In fact, it's a free kick, I think, back to Braun. He was swung late. Free kicks pretty high this afternoon. We've already had 34. Welcome to the brave new world. Here's Braun from about 60. It wanders down towards the pocket. Heady, like Joe Montana, throws it back towards the full forward area. What's the call? He's penalised, I think, for a throw. That was interesting. Watch it again.
I think your call is perfect here, Dennis.
Definitely was a throw. Yeah. Good decision by the umpire, that one.
Philip Matera was cast in the role of Jerry Rice. There goes the kick around the outer side from behind. Coughlin. Peter Matera against the flow, brilliantly done. Throws it on the boot, pulls it back to the middle. His brother will need to go. Plenty of players around the fall of the ball. Hurriedly out of defence by Hutchton. Up towards centre half back. This is Brown. Brown, the short one is on. Gets it to Hall. Hall inside the centre square.
Looking down to the forward line. Low is the ruckman at the moment, so Everett's at centre half forward. Here's the contest with McIntosh. Everett falls out of it. Lappin feeds back. Finds Smith. Kicked a beautiful goal on his left earlier in the first quarter. Now comes back on the right. Great kick into Hall. Barry Hall, he'll have to kick from 60 metres. He's waiting now. Everett just too slow to get down there. That's what he's waiting for. Now, the drop punt right to the square. Everett has to take the front spot. Pushing and shoving. Ball falls free. Lovell's there for the Eagles. Clears it on out, straight down to the centre. Kemp and Burke. In the back against Peter Matera. Advantage play. Here come the Saints again. They have the opportunity. Very good work, Heatley. Could have been Low. It could have been Heatley.
It was a good contest in the midfield. Here in the back, the advantage was played to Cripps, and on that quick rebound, it was a question of which one marked it, and Stuart Lowe heard the call. Sometimes dangerous to leave the ball from the call from behind, but he was confident that was Heatley's voice.
So Heatley with 3 first quarter goals. Mick Malthouse comes down. Just over 2 minutes of play left in this third quarter. Heatley, 45-degree angle, 40 metres out. Kicks. He's kicked very well. He's got 4. So St.Kilda with the last 2 goals get their lead back out to 7 points.
This has been a good effort. It's certainly the momentum of the game was going all with Eagles. A couple of dicey free kicks, some good play, and all of a sudden they got to the front. With that individual effort by Harvey to kick the goal, and then this one from Heatley when he had the chance to score, he did. They've gone back to the 7-point lead.
Well, the Saints have steadied. So often the way a side picks up lost ground, gets on terms, and the side they've caught kicks away. Almost as if the job were done. Zilla tackled strongly. The Saints obviously of the mood not to go quietly this afternoon. Stan Alves, like Malthouse now, down on the boundary, inside 2 minutes to 3/4 time.
It's interesting, there's a little square down there that the coaches have to stand in if they actually down on the boundary line. They're both in their individual squares. It looks quite strange.
Out towards the boundary. Jones keeping it in front. Looks it across to the voice of Smith, confronted by Hart, dragged down, good tackle by Hart, picked up by Wooden, bounces it up towards the wing. Burke had it, then lost it. Hodgson touched off the boot, so it'll be play on. McIntosh went back, spilled it, comes back to him, through his legs. Hall's got him, McIntosh is over the ball, the umpire wants it. Minute 15, there's Stan in his box, having a bit to say.
I couldn't help thinking if they take a step out of their box, what happens?
No idea, but given the way Stan is looking, I think the grass would die for a start. There's Thompson, throws it on the boot, about 15 metres out, big packet, falls in front, Lappin went to ground, McKenna comes away. McKenna with dash around the outer side.
We're watching one of the greatest Eagles of all times in their 11-year history. This man just stands up week in and week out. McKenna, great run. Finds Kemp. McKenna have been top 3 in their best and fairest 6 out of the 9 years. And it's the old school that really have got the Eagles back into this game. Heady there may have gone too far with his treatment on the St Kilda opponent, Greg Scroop. Don't know what he could be telling him. Suggest to settle down, but you either award a free kick or you don't, in my opinion. But Heady has the opportunity. Fuster couldn't complete the mark. Kemp back in there. The handball out to Simmons. His kick, it's going to reach the 10-metre square. Bardsley and Lowe, they're the 2 back. Forcing it across the line. 1 point. 6 points now.
No, a free kick in the goal square for a holding free kick against Philip Matera to Bardsley.
Oh. And they worked the 1-2. So the 3/4 time siren when West Coast came out firing and kicked 6 goals to open the quarter. St Kilda back with the last 2. The lead at half-time was 29 points, now down to 7.
Yes, well, it's certainly a good last 5 minutes by St Kilda. The Eagles have got right back into the game, got the lead, but St Kilda will kick the last 2 goals. So as you go to the 3/4 time break, it's a nice 7 point.
It was an incredible quarter. 25 minutes dominated by the Eagles, 5 minutes by St Kilda. I can't pick it. It's just going to go down to the wire. Johnny Worsfold is okay. He actually lost a contact lens. That's why he came off. Got a finger in the eye at the 20-minute mark of the 3rd quarter.
Down to the wire, O'Barra. Away comes Everett. Inside the 50. McIntosh goes back. Here's Gehrig. Gehrig in the back pocket. Goes along the ground, across the line. That centre bounce has been going that side all day long, and players have got to be aware of that. The umpire coming from the southern side of the ground into that bouncing pattern. Invariably, it's going to his right.
The ruckmen do say, Dennis, that umpires tend to bounce the ball sometimes away for them. They have different sort of trajectories.
Well, the Eagles have been a bit skimpy in covering that. Out of mid-air by Gehrig. Slapped out of there by Thompson, off the deck by Burke, in the road McIntosh, up towards midfield. Awkward bounce for Turnbull. Big Pete trying to get a hand in there. Socket away by Turnbull. Here's Peckett. First goal will be very handy to either side. The short one is on. This is Jones. He's at right half forward. What breeze there is behind the Saints to Lowe's lead. The kick is good. Big Stewie's got it. About 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. He's got 27 goals on the season. Scored 6 last time these sides met.
I think Glenn Jakovic is always a little vulnerable on a leading player as long as the kick's a good one, because he does tend to play a little from behind and just back his judgment. But then Lowe, it was an excellent kick from Jones, and Lowe had led hard into the space. Jakovic really was completely caught out.
Has a career best of 9 goals 5 against Brisbane, round 13 last season. He's going at his first right here. It'll be a bonus if he can spark up in this final term. It's close. He's missed. Behind. Increases the lead to 8 points.
So Lowe with 6 marks, 10 disposals. Really hasn't had an influence on the game as of yet. He's one of many St Kilda players who are goal scorers. Today they've got 6 players playing who have kicked 10 or more goals. Mickey Winmar being the one who's missing. The Eagles were the goal scorers in the 3rd quarter, a 6-goal 3rd quarter. To St Kilda just 2 goals 3. And St Kilda now with the opportunity. Everett to Joel Smith on his left foot. There's a vacant goal square here. It's bouncing there towards Jones. He can't quite get there. And off his knee over the line, out of bounds. Jones, Tony Brown sitting on the bench. Jones selected in the Victorian squad earlier this week. 17 young rookies. Lowe takes the ball from the ruck. Can't get the kick. Jakovic dives straight in there with Andrew Thompson. And another ball up will occur.
One just gets the feeling this is going to be a low-scoring last quarter. It just looks both sides are just so at the contest. Doesn't look like either side's going to break.
So here's the bounce, some 25 metres out low. Trying to take the ball, buying a free kick, and he's bought it. He got the umpire there and got Glenn Jakovic.
I think you'll find there was a lot of Lowe's jumper in Glenn Jakovic's hand. Just have a look at this. Here's Jakovic trying to get it. Have a look here. That's it. Pull of the jumper. Obvious free kick.
Very clever by Lowe. Jakovic thought he had the ball, I think.
And the right shoulder there, Glenn Jakovic, just giving it a bit of a rub. As to whether the player's in control of the ball and in possession of the ball at that stage or not. But Stuart Lowe going for his first. Should kick this. Stewie doesn't. 2 shots by Stuart Lowe in the opening part of the last quarter and 2 behinds. The crowd a bit of a roar as Johnny Worsfold comes back on. And
he found his contact lens. He came out and ran straight into Darryl Wakeland.
And St Kilda made the change as well. Left to put on a more medium-sized player in Cripps and taken Wakeland off to keep the size match-up similar.
The surprising bit was the technicality of Worsfold going off under the blood rule, having lost the contact lens. Can't work that one. But McKenna now, from half-back, finds Matera. Peter Matera. In the sunshine here at the Subiaco Oval, goes towards the wing. Strong work there from Hetty. Zilla his opponent now. Cripps has been for the majority of the afternoon. Now it's Zilla. Hetty, not a good kick. Everett dropping back, takes the mark. Should look towards the other side, the open side. Has options there. A little bit slow to go for them. The Saints need to generate run because that's the strength of their side. They're good quick running players. Healy, the floater over the top. Daniel Healy. To centre half forward. Hall can't complete it. Jones now ground level against Banfield, keeping it in front. Assistance comes there from Heatley. Really upsets Jones's run. The Eagles kick it out towards the half-back line. Josh Woden, away you go. Very, very quick. Great work from the youngster on the left foot. Finds Johnny Worsfold. Feeds back inside. The run from Lovell is good.
Lovell up towards half forward. Ill-directed that one though. Storming up the ground. Barnsley off his step. Gives it away. Back to Lovell. Just inside the centre square. The game on the line now. 9 points the difference. Lovell towards half forward. Being held down there, Shanahan. Ricochets back in his direction. Picked up by Cripps. Was it holding the ball? That was the call from the crowd. Not necessarily the case. Worsfold superbly done. Tumbles out of that pack. Kicks it for a more central situation. Waiting behind Zilla. Only as far as Simmons. Now he can run inside the 50. Lines up goal from 40 metres out and kicks a goal. 3 points the difference.
Yes, well, the first goal is always so important. That Stuart Lowe miss a few seconds ago, or probably a few minutes ago now, just so important now because all of a sudden the Eagles are right back within a goal. And it was just some sloppy defensive play. Barnsley was just kick the ball straight to the Eagles player. If you're going to kick the ball quickly out of defence, it's got to go wide. It can't go back up the middle.
Paul Simmons in his 50th game picks up the goal and puts the Eagles back to within 3 points. Centre bounce Matera's in there. St Kilda having the opportunities in the opening part of the first quarter to get a good score on the board. Stuart Lowe missing 2 opportunities. And then the Eagles go forward. Great work from Worsfold, sets Simmons up. Lovell out of congestion, just tosses the ball out into space. One-on-one, Kemp and Peckett. Worsfold comes in to assist. Simmons held in a tackle. Play allowed to go on. Worsfold to kick off the ground to Kemp. Now it's Eddie pushing and shoving. Very good work. Comes back Thompson. Takes the mark. Andrew Thompson, formerly on the Footscray supplementary list, then the St Kilda list. Now an opportunity at senior level with the Saints to Lowe. Well worked by Jakovic. Ball over the line again. Michael Braun. His first game. Echuca United, his original junior football club, then spent time with Bendigo under 18s. Brewster off. Bridgick on into the forward line. Harvey couldn't take the ball. Good give, finds Lovell. Now goes long. Philip Matera, he's the big man in the square. Can't complete it. Eddie's there to assist. Zilla does the tidying up across the back line. Good kick into Burke. Burke forward onto Young. The Saints with a little bit of space now.
Young up towards the wing, bounces obligingly for Jones, quickly away, awkward one, well picked up and controlled there by Lowe. Floats it down towards half forward. Healy was up, knocked away a couple of times by McKenna. Smith to Jones again, we've seen that before. He pulls it back to the middle and Big Pete's there. Peter Everett directly in front.
Didn't know what to do, Everett. He didn't know whether just to take the bit between his teeth and go on with it. But as it is, it's probably the safest situation here to go back and have a set shot. Probably from 45 metres out. Very good kicking skills, Peter Everett. You would think he'd have a very, very good chance of kicking this.
Averaging 6 marks a game this season, his best 12 against Collingwood in round 3. That day he booted 6 goals. And this afternoon those goal-kicking skills have deserted him. Out of bounds on the full, left full forward pocket, and the Eagles waste no time. Out it comes to Hart from Gearing. Hart the high ball up towards the wing. Burke in front. Young drawn from behind. Got a fist on it. Good enough. Smith couldn't keep it in. 2-on-1. Burke admonishes Smith there. He needed to keep it in. Chance to go back inside the 50 right there. So a boundary throw in. Turnbull and Lowe. Lowe clean possession. Hooks it towards the 50-metre line. Hall was in front, knocked away by McIntosh. Good use of the body by Hart. Simmons couldn't control it. Hall had it, let it go. Whistle, ball up. Young Lappin, reserves best and fairest last season for the Saints. At the base of that pack.
St Kilda now just trying to buy that very valuable goal. Trail by 3 points. The Eagles work it towards the wing. Peckett under pressure from 3 Eagles. And you explain that one to me because I've got no idea whatsoever.
Well, he ran out of bounds and he's been pinned for deliberate out of the bounds, but gee, that's a tough call.
That's a shocker. Peter Matera long towards half forward. Simmons, no, it's Braun, does the spoiling. Very good work from the youngster. And that one's over the line and out of bounds. Kilda lead by 3 points. West Coast have the first and only goal of this quarter. Lowe for the second time tries to take the ball out of the boundary throw-in. He couldn't. Cripps does the cleaning up for him. Harvey, a beautiful handballing or to Lappin. Lappin now has the leading Heatley there. Comes in towards him. Does the spoiling. Very good work. Lappin follows on up. Steps around this way, that way. There's no one there. The ball bouncing. Jones going hard. The ball going harder. Jones the hardest. He gets it.
I think it was the Lappin goal. Did he get his foot to it?
No, I don't think so.
I'm not sure, but a lovely bouncing goal from Lappin. I mean, he saw the open goal square. He certainly didn't make good contact with the kick. Here we see the ball. Good spoil here by Garrick. So it went to Lappin. He thought his way through. All of a sudden, there's just an open goal square, and he's just gone with the big flat mongrel punt. And it's probably bounced the last 30 metres. Through it went.
We're told Showers aren't far from the ground. The margin is 9 points. Is it a match-winning lead? They're playing well, the Saints, by the same token. Working it down towards their half-forward line. In front there is Smith. Across the line it goes. Boundary throw-in. Just under 11 minutes till full time, so still plenty of time. The Saints looking the better side again. What a great win this will be if they can steady after they were gathered in by the West Coast Eagles. Burke, Young now. Young's away, went for the bounce, didn't work out for him. McIntosh and Young battle on the ground. It spills to Hall. Hall is about 25 metres out. He pulls it back. Close. Not good enough. Behind. So this is a thriller. And we talked about the stakes being so high coming in. So many sides covered by 6 and 4 with 5 and 5 records. 11 teams within 1 game of each other. There's McKenna. So we're talking about huge swings. Wooden in the pocket. Comes away. Josh Wooden around the outer side. Jakovic off the deck through the wing. wobbles down towards half forward and Heady. Zilla slid in there, so did Lowe. The Saints have got the numbers. Zilla brilliantly done, feeds it out to the will of the Wisp. Harvey's away on the wing, down towards half forward. Heatley fingertips to it. McIntosh heads for the boundary line and pushes it across.
Yes, it's just a complete difference in the third quarter. At the moment, it's the St Kilda players that are getting to those loose balls. In the third quarter, the Eagles were doing that, and so St Kilda are back in a bit of control of general play, but not that far ahead on the scoreboard.
Your opportunity now is inside 50 from the boundary throw in. Jones eventually gets the ball, kick smothered. This gives Matthew Young an opportunity across the body from 50 out. Ball's going to bounce loosely in the square. There's Joel Smith off the ground. The umpire, a close look at it. The Saints just keep coming.
Yes, very terrific goal then for St Kilda to now get it out to a 16-point lead. And after Lowe and Everett had missed those two set shots, I thought maybe they'd given away their chance. But they're the ones who are getting in and winning these loose balls. They keep getting it forward, and the game has turned around. And good finish by Smith, the goal score flurry.
There's our scoreline. 16 points the difference. What an afternoon for Michael Braun in there too in the centre square. The 19-year-old from Echuca United. And the Bendigo under-18s marking Nathan Burke, and he's done a pretty good job. I mean, Burke is one of the outstanding players of the competition. As Harvey sockers it out towards the boundary, goes again, was pushed in the back, he'll get the kick. Harvey building the cricket score here, coming up for possession number 35. Robert Harvey down towards half forward, in front Lowe, spinning out of trouble, into more trouble was Lovell. Lappin back to Lovell, not his intention. Jakovic off the ground, up towards midfield. Hudston played it pretty well, diving in there is Hart, tries to slap it out. Simmons has it on the overlap. Wooden, the youngster controls it well. Wooden comes down towards right half forward. Shanahan in best position, almost the grab to either one. Take your pick. Slapped out of there by Worsfold, falling to the ground. Matera, down goes Heady, strong tackle applied by Zilla, and the ball's out of bounds.
Isn't that great play by Worsfold to keep the ball alive? The ball was going out of bounds and Worsfold just thumped it forward. It's forward football, under pressure, hit the ball forward, your teammates run onto it.
Boundary throw in, half forward for the Eagles. Johnny Worsfold doing all the work there for the Eagles across in the physical sense, setting things up for them. An example of just keeping the ball alive. And there'll be plenty to talk about on Monday night. Jared Neesham, the Dockers coach, the guest on Talking Football. Turnbull and Everett. Turnbull down. Peckett in defence for the St Kilda side towards the wing. Low in the front position. A couple of goes at it. Harvey playing the ball along in front of himself. Now he'll have more possessions than his Guernsey number. That's 36 to him. In the front position, Lappin. Hall does the roving. Steps around McIntosh, perhaps too easily. Tosses up towards the square. Fraser Garrick, the first man back, allows the ball to bounce and then takes it through for the behind. Barry Hall, a real option cross half forward for the Saints. Umpire bringing that kick-off back.
Still waving the flag, wasn't he?
That could be the only reason. So Fraser Garrick, named in the Victorian squad earlier this week. Normally from Wodonga, kicks out. A high fly from Lowe interferes with the Eagles, and away they go with the advantage. Jakovic was in the front position. The umpire paid advantage of the ball now on the wing position for the Eagles. Another free kick, this time to Dean Kemp. Looks up, Worsfold offers him a lead. Now Turnbull dropping in. It's Worsfold over the top of him. Burke rushes past Everett, gets himself onto his right foot, back to the wing. Peckett, Kemp, couple of goes. Matera, a spin, but spins into trouble. Held up with some strong tackling there from Robert Harvey.
Kemp a bit stiff there, trying to juggle that mark, appeared to be tackled. Jakovic slow to get up, but he's okay. Dean Kemp, 24 possessions so far. That is 100th game against the Saints back in '94. Today it's game number 163. It's been a good one. Lowe slaps it out wide. Here's Matera. Smothered off the boot. How will they call it? Touched across the line. So a throw-in. Well done by Thompson. Things would be hotting up at Flaming Moe's, I think, at the present time. Oh man, Jason Daniels will be getting a little toey. It's looking good for the Saints. Lowe knocks it down. Thompson tries to get it back. Banfield, Simmons. Banfield goes back in. Simmons is there with him. Have the ball up. I think that's Pickett or is it Burke? It's Burke. Lappin there as well. 6.5 minutes to go. Jakovic, Pickett back towards Jakovic. Thompson got him. Lowe slides in. Jakovic dives on top of it. And the umpire off the ball, having a bit to say to Shanahan and Grigic, who are jostling on the 50-metre line up ahead.
It's interesting, the two ruckmen dropped away from this contest, so you've got Jakovic and Lowe competing. I think Lowe, in fact, is just doing a little bit better at these ruck contests than Jakovic. Let's see what happens this time.
Yeah, it's quite strange that Turnbull being right out of the action when he was the dominant player. The Eagles runner, George Young, is out speaking to him at the moment. But here come the Eagles again through Schofield. Turnbull was taken out of the contest and Everett back to take the mark. Holding it up at centre half back. Looking for something long. Really, there's not much there, but he goes towards it. It's Eagles coming back to the ball. Chad Morrison lines up. Short to Jakovic, he takes it in front of Lowe. 5.5 minutes to go. Turnbull, the player, coming off. Andrew Donnelly coming on. So a goal kicker coming onto the ground. Jakovic goes long. Grigic, Shanahan, Everett in front, takes the ball.
Had a very good last quarter. He's taken a bit back control in these ruck contests. Or in the round-the-ground ball getting, probably, to be more specific. 17
points is St Kilda's lead. Just settling the ball down across the midfield here. Pickett now. They have control of the game. To Bardsley. He goes long, right to the true centre-half forward position. Matera stands in front of Lowe. Spoils it out. Hart, the first one there. Settles onto the right, finds McIntosh. Dummies a handball out wide, then decides to go back for the kick. But really, the Eagles do need to generate more flow than what they've got here at the moment.
Pushed a couple of extra guys back up, I think. St Kilda had a few loose players as the ball came out of their forward line.
McIntosh's kick towards Grigic. Phil Matera trying to step out, can't, so goes with a handball towards Eddie. In turn, flicks it on. Simmons feeds in ball. Schofield settles from 45 out. To the near side, he's missed.
May well have been a very important roll of the dice, that one, I suspect. They don't look like scoring much, the Eagles. They're going to have to take every opportunity, I would think, to get up in this game.
They've got to kick those. Burt to Cripps. Much easier, of course, up here. No pressure on. Shanahan close to the line. Resolute defender, as always. High kick towards the outer side wing, intended for Lowe. At the fall of the ball, the most nimble was Smith. Still Smith. Banfield got him. He heads for the boundary line. Zilla battles there with Donnelly, and across it goes. So under 4 minutes, it would seem the Saints have almost got the 4 points. The attendance today, just under 30,000. That's pretty good in these conditions. Lowe knocks it down. Young to Lappin, gets through down towards half forward, met by McKenna. Hall lays it off. This is Healy. Healy goes long, bounces out of bounds in the pocket. 12-11 St Kilda, 10-7 the West Coast Eagles.
It's an opportunity to finish it off, wasn't it? The left footer running around, Healy. Very good user of the ball on that preferred left foot. Should have made better of that. Grigic's off. Fused it back on for the Eagles. The boundary throw in forward pocket for the Saints. Ball out the back. Joel Smith finds a little bit of room on the left foot. He's kicked to the top of the square. Peckett has to fly. Comes down to ground. McKenna taken in the tackle by Heatley. Back in goes Peckett. Plenty of questions being asked of the umpire. by both sides.
I think Mickey Moles may well have taken the punt. He hasn't got a recognised ruckman out there at the moment. I think it might be Donnelly is the ruckman, just to try and see if they can get some run out of that position.
Low body work, drops it down in front. Burke can't get away, and another ball up will occur. Now the clock ticks down, under 3 minutes of play left. Some rain starting to come back, sweep back across the ground. St Kilda really with the opportunity here, just one more goal. Only one in Perth at once, beating Fremantle. Out of some 11 trips. Low in the front position. Heatley, Low, they're all in there. Saints happy just to keep the ball tied up in this forward pocket. There's no way the Eagles are going to score here.
Boundary throw in there. You get the feeling Stan Alves will be not only delighted with this, but content with his performance, because he really has done a number of things that have helped his team get up to date. Outstanding performance by Stan. Across it comes to Thompson. Thompson got it from Low. The snapshot is good. It is all over. Jubilation amongst the Saints. They've snapped a 5-game winning streak against them by the West Coast Eagles.
Yes, and again, Stuart Low in these ruck contests, I think he's been pretty dangerous in there against Djakovic, but really, quick hand pass to Thompson. His main role today has been to try and make sure Peter Matera hasn't been too damaging as an attacking defender, but a couple of goals is a very valuable return.
So Andrew Thompson's second goal stretches the leads out for the Saints. Just over 2 minutes of play left. The Saints really have done extremely well in a variety of conditions here at Subiaco this afternoon. West Coast go forward one more time. The spoil was strong and hard, lapping onto the ball. The looping handball to Everett, then the bullet to Jones. Jones plays it out in front of himself. Running on now, his kick towards half forward. Coughlin underneath the ball. Fraser Garrick, well read, well judged, feeds off to Djakovic. The switch of play to the near side is to Donnelly. Ball falls slightly short of he, back to McIntosh. Props, under pressure there. Couldn't do anything with it, and the kick goes over the line and out of bounds on the foot.
Isn't that fantastic tackling pressure? Caused the turnover.
Burke off his step in short. They'll run the clock down now. This is Coughlin. A minute and a half to go. Coughlin, that's interesting. Intended, I think, for Low, but Simmons had no trouble stepping across to mark it. Djakovic has it. So their mettle was tested this afternoon, the Saints. The West Coast Eagles trailing by 29 points at half-time. Got back to lead 3/4 of the way through the third quarter. Then St Kilda found something. Schofield, or is it Hahn? It's Hahn kicking inside the 50. Coming up the ground, Fuster, away to Kemp. Kemp on the 50, floats it back. Phil Matera has to wait. He's taken the mark about 30 metres out. One of their finest victories, St Kilda, in recent times, this one. Challenged, and they responded.
Yes, and just Dean Kemp, terrific peripheral vision to see that Philip Matera had dropped clear, and the good enough skills on the left side to cool the ball back. To give Matera a consolation goal, this will be now 25 metres out, straight in front.
Matera kicks truly. Too little, too late.
Although given the state of the ladder and percentage, I don't think there's probably any such thing as a consolation goal. I mean, a lot of positions could be determined by percentage at the end of the year. So just every goal that reduces or increases your winning margin is just, I think, so important into where you may finish at the end of the season.
You can rest assured there'll be broad smiles all around for the Saints tonight. They gambled in as much as they left Winmar out. No hesitation in doing that. Off the ground by Matera. They've won the football match, and they've won it in the style you'd like to win a football match. Here's Zilla. There's something about the Saints. I saw them against the Bombers a few weeks back. They've got to start believing in themselves, and they could cause a lot of problems. McKenna, Morrison gets away. Dying seconds of the game. Down to 15 to go. Phil Matera again, the clever mark. He's 55 metres out. We're down to 10 seconds. Stan still wants them to box on. Take it easy, Stan. You've got this one in the bag. There goes the kick from Matera. Falls in short. Fitting. St Kilda finished with a footy. And a wink, if you don't mind. Jason Heatley, who started so well.